Hello, what I'm going to be covering in this video is Python's ElIf statement. So while only one of the if or else clauses will execute, you may have a case where you want one or many possible clauses to execute. The ElIf statement is an else if statement that always follows an if or another ElIf statement. It provides another condition that is checked only if any of the previous conditions were false. In code, an ElIf statement always consists of the following. The first thing is the ElIf keyword, then a condition, which is just an expression that evaluates to true or false, a colon, and then starting on the next line, an indented block of code called the ElIf clause. So what I'm going to do here, I have the flow chart up, and basically we're going to write the Python code to go ahead and code up this flow chart. So this is just a simple grading scheme where if a student gets greater than or equal to 90, they'll get an A, greater than or equal to 80, a B, greater than or equal to 70, a C, greater than equal to 60, D, and then if it's below a 60, they'll get an F. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and open up a new file, and then I will initialize the score variable. I'll set that equal to 85, and then I'll set my if score is greater than or equal to 90, then we'll print out your grade is an A. And then I'll hit the backspace, and then this is where I add my ElIf. So if your score is greater than or equal to an 80, we'll print out your grade is a B. And then we'll backspace, do another ElIf. Greater than equal to 70, and we will print out your grade is a C. Backspace again, we'll do an ElIf. Score is greater than or equal to a 60, and then we will print out your grade is a D, and then we will backspace, and then we'll just add an else clause, because if it's less than or equal to 60, it will be an F. Is an F. Okay, so I will go ahead, save this file as ElIf, and then I'll go ahead and run it. So basically, with a score of an 85, my grade is a B. I'll go ahead and change the score to a 55. Go ahead, run it again, and my score is an F, so that looks like it's working correctly. So what I'm going to do next is I'm just going to go ahead and copy and paste this code into the Python tutor. So we will go ahead, again, I'm at www.pythontutor.com. Go ahead and click on that. I'll insert the code, I'll visualize execution, so we'll step through the program. Our score is set to 55. We'll check to see if it's greater than or equal to 90. It's not. We'll check to see if it's greater than or equal to 80. It is not. We'll check to see if it's greater than or equal to 70. It's not. We'll check to see if it's greater than or equal to 60. It's not. And then finally, it falls through to the closing else clause. Your grade is an F. I'll go ahead and update the score to a 75. Visualize execution, so we'll drop through. 75 is not greater than or equal to 90, we'll drop through. 75 is not greater than or equal to 80, we'll drop through. 75 is greater than or equal to 70, so what we'll do is we'll print our ElIf clause, and it'll print out your grade as a C, and then the program terminates. So the one thing you'll want to note is that once an ElIf statement or the if statement is true in this block of code, either the if or the ElIf clause gets printed out, and then it drops fully out of the loop. So you'll want to remember that once a condition is true, it'll drop fully out. The other thing about this is that order does matter when you're creating your if-ElIf statements. So if I go in and edit this code and I change, so if my score is greater than or equal to 60, we want to print out a D. Greater than or equal to 70, we want to print out a C. Greater than or equal to 80, we want to print out a D. And greater than or equal to 90, we want to print out A. That would be a B right there. And if I visualize the execution here, if it's a 75, I'll click on forward. My score is greater than or equal to 75 is greater than or equal to 70. So what it'll do is it'll go ahead and actually, this first clause will be true, and it'll go ahead and print out your grade as a D. So this kind of shows you that you want to make sure that the ordering is correct when you create these if-ElIf statements. So that's all I wanted to cover on the ElIf statement. So we will be back in a second. What we're going to be covering in the next video is the while flow condition statement.